Lesson 1.2, Powers and Exponents, teaches us about powers and how they're made up of bases and exponents, and how the base is used as a factor to get the power. I'll explain what I'm saying right now. A power is a number such as 125. Let's say 125. 125 equals 5 times 5 times 5. Here, the 5s are multiplied. 5 is multiplied by 5 to get 125. 125 is a power because it is the result of the repeated multiplication of the same number. So 5 times 5 times 5, let's say 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. 27 equals 3 times 3 times 3. These are 27 is a power, 125 is a power. 8 is a power because 8 equals 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 times 2. 8 is a power because it's the repeated multiplication of 2. Also, 16 could be a power because it's 2 times 2 times 2, also times 2. It doesn't have to be 3, it could be any amount of factors. The base is, so when we're describing a power, we use something called exponent form, which is this, 5 to the third. 5 to the third. This is exponent form because 5 is the base, 5 is the base, and 3 is the exponent. These are factors, and 5 to the third is described as a power. This is because 5 to the third is 5 times 5 times 5. So when we're writing it in this form, when we're writing it in exponent form, the base is the number that's multiplied in a certain amount of factors by a certain amount of factors, and 3 is the amount of factors that it's being multiplied by. So 5 is the base, so we have 5, and since it's 3, we have 5 times 5 times 5, 3 factors. 3 factors. And this whole thing is a power. The base is the main number in exponent form. So let's say in 125 equals 5 times 5 times 5. 5 would be the base because you're multiplying 5 by 5 to get 125. 5 is the base. 5 is the root of it. The exponent is the amount of times that we're going to multiply the base by itself to get the power. So 5 is the base to the third with a third 3 exponent. So we're going to get 5 times 5 times 5. 3 times, we're going to write 3 factors we're going to have because of the exponent, that's 3. And the overall conclusion of all this, which is 125, this is the power. This is the power. And factors are just, if we have 5 to the third, 5 times 5 times 5, these are all factors. These are factors because when you multiply them by each other, you get the power, which is everything. So let's do some examples. Example 1. Example 1. You're just writing the product using an exponent. So let's say we have 13 times 13 times 13 times 13. This would be, these are all factors. These are all, 13 is a factor. There's 4 factors, and we would get 13, which is the base, to the 4th exponent because there's 4 factors. An exponent is just the amount of factors there is. The amount of factors there is. And then this whole thing is the power. Let's do another one. You could do it with variables also. Let's say we have n times n times n times n times n times n. This would be n to the 6th, because 6 is an exponent of 6 because there's 6 factors, and n is the base of those factors. and n to the 6, like this whole thing is the power. Move on to example 2. Example 2 is just evaluating powers with variables. So let's say we have x to the 4th when x equals 0.5. So what we would do is we would plug in 0.5, and we would get 0.5 to the 4th. 0.5 is the base, 4 is the exponent, and because 4 is the exponent, we're going to have 4 factors. This is going to be 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5, which after multiplication, we'd get to be 0.0625. Example 3. And example 3 is just using powers in formulas. So if we have a block of ice, right? Let's say we have a block. So we have a block. And we know that each it's a cube, so each side is equal to 20 inches, 20 inches, and 20 inches. We know that volume is equal of a cube, since all sides of a cube are equal. We know that's equal to the same side because it's the same variable. S is 20, so 20 cubed. Cube just means that it has an exponent of 3, and squared means that it has an exponent of 2. It's just math terms that people use to make things easier when you're saying it out loud. So if we know V equals S squared, what we would do is we would plug 20 in for S to find V. So V equals 20 cubed. And we know that 20 is the base, 3 is the exponent, and because 3 is the exponent, we're going to get 3 factors of 20. 20 times 20 times 20, which after all the math would be 8,000. So we know that this is the volume of a cube of ice is 8,000 cubic inches. You can't forget about units. And these are the answers to all the problems.